This is outdated, and welcome back to Game Pass Passport. We're going to continue our conversation with the magistrate here. We are playing the Forgotten City. We have stamped our passport for our lost city of ancient Rome in the modern day, or in the past, or I'm not even sure. So, what did you mean when you said Proserpina sent me?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time.
You're right. I'm from 2,000 years in the future.
2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city?
You'd all been turned into golden statues.
I have imagined it, our downfall 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
How does the ritual work?
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
I did see human remains in the temple.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
I'll do my best.
Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
See, why can't you investigate?
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Fair enough. Do you have any suspects?
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore?
Yeah.
What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
How do I know you're not the person responsible?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you. I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second chance. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
Fair point.
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen.
Fair enough. All right. Why can we understand each other? I don't speak Latin.
You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? How strange. But the gods are active here, and their temples and shrines hum with power like nowhere else in the Empire. Perhaps when Proserpina brought you here, she planted the seed of Latin in your mind so that you could better serve her.
Awesome.
Indeed.
If I do this, will you help get me back to my own time?
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
I think so. And that's all the questions I had.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
Alright, I'm in.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them, if it will win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright, I'll get started.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
I'll get right on it. Since this will prioritize the new quest, Giant's objective marker only. Alright, dying gasp. Something wrong with the Shrine of Apollo. I know this is his. Scintilla to Sentius. May Jupiter, Optimus, Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter, and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise we'll wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Cynthia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you will be reelected, I'm sure of it. Okay. Let's head downstairs.
Whatever are you wearing? Oh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
Not from around here.
Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
What do you think about the golden rule?
You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch?
Fair question.
Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought.
Oh. Well, at least we know blasphemy doesn't break the golden rule.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Dang. Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
When did you last see her?
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
She was seeing someone?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
Why is that?
Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
Your father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Is it possible her lover was involved?
I don't know. But it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
That arched eyebrow, and what's up with that left eye? Okay, Sentius, Sentia, Scintilla. Why are your names all so similar?
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla.
You look surprisingly relaxed about your sister's disappearance.
Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
Just an observation.
If you must know, I'm here because my father has forbidden me from leaving the villa. I couldn't bear to lose you too, he says, as if he loves me, and not because he needs at least one daughter he can trade off.
Huh. That's all the questions I had.
So you'll help me find her?
Alright, I'll do it.
Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed.
I'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Alright, I know I'm kind of hopping around and getting different quests going at different times. But let's see. Note from Scintilla. Scintilla to Sentius and Sentia. May Clementia give you the strength to forgive me. I am sorry to have to leave you this way, but I have found a way to escape, and I must take it. I hope we meet again someday. Oh. Ink jar. A ceramic ink jar. The ink appears to be made of soot and water. Brass mirror. The brass has been polished into a rudimentary mirror, which has been used for applying makeup. It should just be one has, thank you. Vial. Small vial containing a rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. No. Cosmetic jar. A brass jar containing some sort of powder for makeup. I'm not stealing.
What have you discovered?
I found a letter in her room which mentioned her plan to escape.
What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but well done, I suppose. But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Scintilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I say we just continue this quest. I'm kind of enjoying it. Okay, that's probably the most pointless door when I can just walk around this way. It's like, ah. Okay, so where is it?
Citizen? Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation? Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say anything yet. I'm just going to work on this and do one at a time. Okay. Yulia, huh? So that one? Who are you?
What were you two talking about? Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him?
He wasn't trying to buy my vote. We weren't talking about the election.
What else would you be murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I don't care about the election.
Good, then stay out of it. Nobody likes Caput Murday foreigners interfering in an election. Can't hurt.
What's your story?
My name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me.
Well, you're just like a gladiator.
Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why.
Okay, but you're nowhere near an arena.
You want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunners. Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Okay, I can't get in without that guy letting me in. Maybe I can go over here. Who are you?
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
What do you think about the gold?
I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, millet victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses.
Oh yeah,
Would you
classic.
like to hear it? It is rather long.
Why not? I have time.
Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all. until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic, realizing only a select few possess such powers. Says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish." So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
Basically, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. I agree, or perhaps that it's that the gods might kill you at any moment for failing their test, and they don't even have to tell you what that rules are. I agree.
I'm pleased to hear it.
What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
What should I have done?
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Okay, how did you end up here?
No, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river unconscious and sent me in here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
It's an older name, but not uncommon where I'm from. It carries negative connotations where I'm from. I think I see where this is going. It's an older name, but not uncommon where I'm from.
I see. I wonder if... No.
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Alright, I'll do that.
Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
Whoa. What happened to Livia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
I'll be careful.
Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns.
See what I can do.
Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our
Just cut that off. You can tell this is an independent thing, because normally... Here, can you hear me? Okay, it said the next... That's where I came in. This has got to be it.
What now?
Alright, I'd like to meet...
Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it.
For what?
I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return.
Alright, what do you want?
Dunno. Something good.
Isn't soliciting bribes a sin?
Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron. Just make it good.
Need to speak with Yulia.
She's not here.
Where is she?
Had to carry her to Lucretia's clinic this morning. Shrine of Apollo. She was acting sick. Faking it, if you ask me. Typical.
Okay, that's what I really wanted.
Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Okay. Do a quick save. So I need to find the Shrine of Apollo. That's where I came from. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. Could this be the Shrine of Apollo? Looks very shriny. Lucretia.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman.
What happened?
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
Is there something I can do to help?
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
I'll get right on it.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Barbaric looking medical implements, including forceps and shears. So she's already dead. A wooden rack containing various dried and ground substances. Okay, let's go. I think it's getting dark, I guess. Guess we'd call it dark. Alright, this is the stall. We're gonna go ahead and try this conversation, see what happens.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we?
I need some silphium resin.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
How would I come up with 1,000 denarii? You're price gouging over life-saving medicine. What is wrong with you?
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
That whisper.
You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
Navia.
She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Very well. Another time.
Graffiti. Opius the thief stole my purse and whoever wrote this did not get to finish.
How'd you do?
A bottle of silphium resin, an extremely valuable ancient Roman remedy for various afflictions. Okay, I know if I steal, everybody's gonna die, so I don't want to do that. Talk about some serious consequences. Sinner. Accusatory note.
For the last time, Daisy,
Do you really want to be responsible for the sin that destroys us all?
you know why. There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land. Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Oh Lord, my nation doesn't exist yet. I'm from beyond the edge of the known world. You'd never believe me if I told you. I'm from beyond the edge of the known world.
Then you are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
You know what? I think we're going to
I
stop.
hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
He's very friendly. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please like and subscribe. This definitely would be a more cerebral experience. If I steal something or kill somebody, I already know that it's going to kill everybody, and I believe the loop starts over. Yeah, where you are sent back and you can go back in time again, I think. But I've actually enjoyed it, like talking and trying to figure out what's going on, trying to solve various quests. It definitely feels like a Skyrim mod, but it's definitely more modernized, and that's kind of cool. But you might enjoy it if you like story-based games and stuff, especially mysteries. Go for it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Game Pass Passport. We will be heading somewhere else next episode. I hope that you will hit the like button and subscribe to this, and I will see you next time on Game Pass Passport.